Hey everyone, if you don't know, today is Good Friday, at least it was, and if you don't know why it's called Good Friday, well, it's because Jesus died on a cross for us today, or at least today 1,000 years ago, or a few thousand years ago. And if that doesn't sound good to you, well, yeah, I think it's a pretty ironic name, and it is good and it isn't good. And we'll explore this by looking at Mark's Gospel. And Mark's Gospel gives us a presentation of Jesus and asks, who is Jesus? And asks more specifically, is he the Messiah? And he takes us on this journey throughout his Gospel, and we need to understand who Israel thought the Messiah was in those days. And well, they thought that it would be someone that who was going to save Israel. He was going to be their saviour. And why does Israel need saving? Well, because they were under captivity. They were under the rule and reign of Rome. Their capital city, Jerusalem, was not theirs. And so this Messiah was going to ride into Jerusalem. He was going to throw out the Romans, and Israel would have its own king again, and they would begin to become a great nation and bless everyone through this king and as a nation. So when Jesus rides into Jerusalem, you can bet that everyone was going to get excited, and they did, because they thought, oh, he's going to do just that, he's going to save us. But instead he rides in and he gets captured. Or rather he gives himself in, and he gets killed on a cross alongside two petty criminals. And this subverts everyone's expectations, even the disciples. They missed the other theme of how the Messiah was going to come and who was going to be. That actually the Messiah was also going to be the suffering servant. That he was going to die an excruciating death. That he was going to serve humanity in that death, even when we don't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. So in this strange season, when I'm sure some of you are starting to suffer the consequences of the coronavirus and of self-isolation and the lack of seeing your friends and seeing too much of your family, anxiety, boredom, loneliness, and just pain. Although these things aren't good, and they're not good experiences, they do help us understand what Christ went through on the cross. He had his own isolation from his Father. He had his own pain. Yes, he did. He had his own severe suffering. But he did it for us. He did it for our sins. He did it for us to be reunited with him, for sins to have no effect on us anymore. So I invite you to mourn that Jesus needed to do this. Because of us, for our failings. Use your present sufferings and sit with them, and know that this is only going to be for a season. You see, Zechariah writes this: "And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and pleas for mercy, so that when they look on me, on him whom they have pierced, they shall mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and weep bitterly over him as one weeps over a firstborn. Because Jesus was pierced, he was the one who was pierced for us. He was pierced so that they could pronounce him dead. And we should mourn this. We should mourn him, mourn his suffering, mourn his death. Because he is our suffering servant. He died in our place. So I invite you today to take some time. I invite you this weekend, take some time to sit with this, reflect on this truth, to know that this is true, that this did happen. And I hope you do. Have a good Friday.